Peace in, folks. How you doing? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. We're going to try, aren't we? So, I was hearing yesterday about the new COVID extensions and conditions and rules and regulations and how they're, easing up for Christmas, but how everyone's got to be really careful because we don't want to relax and make it worse. Deaths are dropping, illness isn't high, it's only the case rate rising. We don't want to make it worse. So it feels to me like at each step, they're permanently setting up their next step. When you look at it, because it's not about health. There's nothing about this that says it's about health. If this was a worldwide pandemic that was killing people, we'd have all had the place shut down a long time ago. So, they are releasing some restrictions for Christmas. They're putting the stamp down with the tiered areas. So anywhere, I bet you Liverpool is a tier 3 area on full lockdown. I bet they are, because of all the trouble that the system's had with them up there. They'll definitely be able to utilise that to justify locking them down to everyone who's not paying much attention. Now, the fun bit. This is really good. They are talking about spring and how lockdown is definitely continuing till spring. So this whole tiered system and the whole COVID related stuff, because the vaccine should be ready in spring. So what they're doing there as well is putting absolutely everything on the vaccine, and also in turn saying it's not going to be safe to live like we used to until we have the vaccine. I'm not anti anything. I'm not pro anything other than our own sovereignty. This ain't a killer bug. So wake up. Why would we need a vaccine? It's not a pandemic. 1 million people worldwide, they reckon the figure of deaths, and we don't know how true this is because the government admitted they fudged the numbers, but according to the mainstream, it's just under 1 million deaths worldwide. There is just under 8 billion of us. Do you know in England at the moment, so that's 1 million people dead worldwide, but in England at the moment you've got 3 million. This is mainstream figures, right? So we're just using their information, right? You've got 3 million people in England that are literally on the poverty line because they haven't had any money since March. 3 million people right here, 1 million people spread across the world. Oh my God, pandemic! They've caused a bigger problem than there was if there was one in the first place. We don't know because they fudged so many numbers at the beginning. They lied about all the deaths. Where did all the tallies and all the numbers and all the figures go for all the people that died that got sent home from hospital with cancer and it got marked as COVID? Fuck them people. So what I'm saying is, we need to get it. Get what, John? Awareness, of course. Come the fuck on, let's get some. Come on. We don't need to pretend anymore. We don't need to be scared that we can't have another way. We're way too connected across the globe. We've got too much technology. We can replace the top tier of society like that. Like that. They don't deserve their positions, any of them. And global corporations are only businesses, and they need to realise that. We need to realise we are the sovereign powers. We have the power if we so choose to use it. What the fuck is that power? It's called us, our choice and our communication and us coming together, not ignoring problems. They're letting children carry on going to school in tier 3 areas. Oh, because children can't spread bugs, COVID doesn't go into weak immune systems. That was exactly where it went. So, while they're letting the children go to school so they can continue indoctrinating them, I heard things like children were being basically what it's basically like fearmongering for children, because they're guilting them, saying that if they don't wear masks and they're not like pro-vaccines and stuff, then they're responsible for the death of their elders, like their parents and their grandparents. That could be a rumour, but it wouldn't fucking surprise me. I don't like the education system anyway. People are people. I've got no problem with teachers, but you're blindly doing a whole load of shit you could do with not. History, the glorification of murder and the royals. Not teaching how the bankers funded and basically fueled most wars since around 1500. There's problems that are affecting us on the daily, but we don't know it because they're doing it subtly. If you look at the changes that happen over like 30, 40 years, politically and corporate-wise, right, so the power structure, right, the power tier, right, you look at the changes that comes from there over like 30, 40, 50 years, and it's like, what? We need to hang on to what rights we've got left. But I strongly, strongly believe that how the hell are we going to create a new way with colonial minds, basically, right? We need to take our minds back. It's not that big a deal. It's not like I'm saying everyone is a fucking zombie or something. But what I am saying is, me included, had a number done on us through the education system that's taught us a whole load of fuckery like judgment, unhealthy competition, survival of the sickest. It's fucking wrong. But there's stuff we can do about it. So while they're letting our children go to school in tier 3 areas, inconsistent, there's so many things that I've already said and that I find weekly that are inconsistent. The only consistent thing is they seem to be controlling people with fear. We need some change, people. We need to dig inside ourselves and find a reason to fight. I don't care what reason you find. I don't care whether you're fighting because of the psychological aspects. I don't care if you're fighting because of the spiritual aspects. I don't care if you're fighting because of the misteaching of education aspects. I don't care if you're fighting for a fucking health system that should be based on human-friendly technology, not fucking chemicals. I don't care if you're fighting for the fucking environment and the atrocities that have been done to it. I don't care if you're fighting for the planet. I don't care if you're just fighting for the fact of you having a future. But God, please pick one. Pick one. And then share this video. Right? Masks can cause more harm than good. With all the germs we breathe out, they catch on the masks, we breathe them in. Higher rate of germ. We have more chance of getting ill. You breathe out carbon, that hits the mask, you're breathing back in carbon, you're taking in more carbon than you should to. That's got health ramifications. Vitamin D improves the strength of your immune system. Zinc, fucking hydrochloroquine or whatever it's called. That with zinc and something else is supposed to deaden a lot of things. Not even supposed to, it does. Doctors use it. Real medical, been to fucking uni for years, doctors use it. Until the government started clamping down on it when COVID came about. Children in Africa and India have been persecuted for too fucking long. The vaccine industries have been killing hundreds of thousands of children a year. A year. In Africa and India, because they're deprived areas and they can just go in there, pay the parents a little bit of something because they're fucking desperate, because their fucking countries have been decimated by our leaders and their ancestors and whoever was leading before, towing the line of the fucking power families. And it's bollocks and I'm sick of it. You know, there's many reasons to be happy about life. There's many reasons I walk by the sea every morning. And it's like a fucking miracle every day. It is the most beautiful thing. Nature, including us, is fucking awesome. That's not to say there hasn't been some greedy, power-hungry, dishonest motherfuckers of the past that have got their hooks into today. Bad things happen because good people fail to act. Let's be kind and fucking strong and say, no, we're done with your bullshit. You're not even getting a second chance. You're done. Anyone in office, you're out. Gone. There's no more. Complete reform. Not going to take that long. And if it's our future of children, of us, of the planet that's at risk, surely this is a time to start fucking going, oh, all right, okay, maybe things are pretty fucking bad. There's a few contributing things that are happening, and the powers that be have no one's interest but their own. And the only reason they keep this place going is because it benefits them, and all the time it doesn't. They attack the parts that don't. Doesn't matter what colour fucking skin you got, you're under attack by this system. I know, man. Sounds a bit extreme, doesn't it? You know, it's like, fucking hell, John. It's only Tuesday. It's only Tuesday, yeah? Well, oh, kiwi, kale, pineapple, mango, raspberries. What else we got in there? Coconut milk, and then some Arbonne vanilla protein and some fibre. It's the good shit, you know? We got so many reasons to change. You just need to be aware of it. And what concerns me is reaching people. Please start doing some research. It doesn't need to be a lot, and don't think it's this whole big, oh my God, task. No, inbox me. Inbox me. I'll give you 3 topics to go and research, and with the 3 bits of writing I give you to put in your Google search, you'll be well on your way. You've got to stay objective and hopeful. I think half the reason why people don't fucking fight is because they've given up hope somehow. I've lost hope at many different times. Some days I don't have much hope, I just have courage. Because we got to have something, right? Because every day something's got to be done. Whether it's on myself, whether it's what I'm working on to try and bring messages to people, you know, whatever it is, we got to do it. This ain't going away. The military's got a clock that's ticking down to the destruction of our society. Please, just share this video with some people. Ask them to ask themselves some questions. Ask them to ask some questions of society. I rattled off a whole list of things that you could use as your motivation to move forward. Grab one of them and go and do some research. The banking families. Who first had the gold? Who was the first gold bullion dealers? You know? Or don't, and just know that things aren't right. Look around society. Hierarchy. Homelessness. Glorification of royals, unhealthy police state, where the police, and what I mean by that is where the police just blindly enforce rules. None of them actually know. They just get told something and then they're like, right, that's law, we enforce this, do as I fucking tell you. You know, egos run out of wild and it's not their fault. Until they become aware or until they deny it for too long, and then it is their fault and there's no excuse and you can get trampled on with the rest of them. Because you're going to have to make a decision. The government aren't going to stop, and nor are the people. So it's going to come to a collide, isn't it? Where the government are trying to use the the police and the military against the people who are trying to stand up for what is right. Police are going to get outnumbered very bloody quickly, so then they're going to call the military in. And the military are going to come and what? Police their own fucking people. Under whose order and for what reason, right? What, a worldwide pandemic that's only killed 1 million people worldwide There's nearly 8 billion of us, or there's over 8 billion. Drop in the fucking ocean in comparison. And if you look at the ills, the deaths that are every year that aren't being talked about or aren't even being equated because it's all going to COVID. So, you know what I mean? I've just gone over my time. Wow. Instagram's only going to get a snippet today. I've said enough, done enough for today. Talk about this with people. Share my video if you need to. If you're too scared to share my videos publicly, do it to a couple of people you think might take to looking at some information in their inboxes. I'm not looking for followers, I'm looking for awareness. I'm looking for us all to gain awareness. So I don't care if you hit follow, I don't care if you hit like. What I care is that people start talking and acting. So like my post, follow me, subscribe, do that, cool. But start doing something, whether it's on yourself or whether it's externally, getting informed, whatever it is, but please start. Because once you do, you'll be thankful because at least you'll know. And then we can move forward in a healthy manner, right? So let's get it, my friends. Let's use the force, positive mental attitude. Let's be kind with our thoughts to ourselves and to others. Let's keep loving our heart for ourselves like we would for others. And let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness, of course. Peace in.